Hi there, thanks for tuning in to the Rise of a Kingdom podcast. This is episode 1.5. This episode's a little bit different than had been originally planned. It was supposed to be episode 2 that we were going to be recording, but due to 2 people being unable to make it, it just ended up being myself, TJ, Tristan, and Sereana playing through a little session I created about 30 minutes would be ridiculous. 30 minutes ahead of actually the live stream and the recording. So, we all really enjoyed it, though. It's not so much story-driven, but it's got a little bit of the story mechanics in there. Everyone's playing the regular character, and some really interesting stuff happens, so I hope you enjoy, and by all means, here's the episode.
Perfect.
All right, so do you guys need a refresh from what happened last week?
Yes, please.
Let's please.
Okay.
Do we want to say why there's so few people this week?
Oh yeah, well, we'll get into that in 1 sec here. I'm going to get
cool.
the other stuff up, and then I'll actually do an intro.
It's because we killed everybody else.
Exactly.
Because, they wanted to quit. They said it was too hard on them.
Actually, I believe their words were, "I have to get out, Jim." and I mean, that ended out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Should I be able to read that?
Ryan was a lot tougher than Kareem, but
No. Were you reading it?
I read Dwarf City, and then I was like,
I don't know where I put my notes for what happened last week. That's definitely not my notes from last week. All right, well, we'll just get into... we're a little short on people this week. I'm a little sick. Both Kareem and Ryan were not able to make it today. So it's just all 4 of us. So we're going to be doing just kind of like a filler episode, to be honest. So it's all stuff that I've kind of just come up with in the last 30 minutes.
can't even call it like a character development section. We're just a filler episode.
I mean, the filler, the creamy filler is the best kind, though.
That's true, it's true.
I mean, do you want to call it a character development video?
It's the 2 main characters, Kareem and Ryan, are gone, so we're just filler.
Wow.
Wow.
I never realized
Is
it,
that
but
how
that
you
kind of
feel
hurts.
about us, Evan?
No, I'm just saying that us without the entire group, as the prince was trying to kind of get going, the fact that, it's a fact that we're all going to be in a council and all kind of rule together.
So Kareem and Ryan are the dough, and we're the cream inside of the donut?
No,
I mean,
he's
in
the
my
Kareem.
opinion, the cream is better.
I mean, we're all the
True.
donut,
Yeah.
is more or less what I'm saying.
So basically, we had this big epic promise, on top of a huge tower overlooking the sky, and then this is just the morning after.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're gonna have to kind of go forward a little bit to, do stuff, so they're gonna miss out on a bit, but that's
That's
what happens. Yeah, exactly.
Should have went to Halcon. Should have been sick.
He's not sick. He got his wisdom teeth out.
Oh,
That's a valid excuse.
Yeah.
so that's fair.
Ryan is fine. It's Kareem that sucks.
To be fair, I don't blame him.
Yeah, so
I'd go to Halcon.
for a refresher for everyone from episode 1. In episode 1, we kind of went and discovered the city. Everyone kind of joined together. We had Pelias, who was introduced, coming in with the elves and meeting the dwarves. Shortly followed behind by our character Lamiao. And then shortly followed by Zorlin, the Dragonborn Bard. That would be a little OP.
Dragon bird.
So then they kind of meet this crew that are here for some reason they're not quite sure. They meet this wizard who is also part of the party, the original party, the dwarf party. Who's like, yeah, I believe there's stuff in this valley. There's this crystal kind of popping out of the ground, and he raises it. All these ruins rise up with the help of the party who can cast magic. They all kind of learn their power.
Longer.
Yep. He was quite the bearded fellow for being not super old. So he's kind of got a Gandalf look about him. And then they kind of explore this risen city. They see this giant kind of humanoid-looking creation in ice. They see another one kind of cut in half and kind of sparking. And they see another one just kind of sitting there. It kind of springs to life as they approach the frozen one. And you guys are met by Arbiter Rhodes, who eventually kind of tries to figure out what happened to the city as he was kind of lost in time. The party goes forth, enters kind of the main tower where Arbiter Rhodes believes whoever would know what happened would be. You guys kind of enter the tower. It's kind of run down as the rest of the city is. You guys kind of go forward. And you see these kind of little creatures kind of banging and trying to vandalize these statues. These fiends cause a ruckus. The party kind of comes to combat. Thanks to, and then a sudden appearance of a bunny appears. So we're met with Priscilla, who is the last of our adventurers to join the group. And they kind of quickly defeat the three little fiends, and then are kind of, surprised to have met fiends. It was not something that any of them had really heard about, maybe just the stuff of legends. And then they're greeted by this massive, large, Deathclaw-looking fiend, giant lizard, black horns, claws, covered in like scaly kind of brimstone.
All your standard monster features.
Yes.
Yep. Charges the group of dwarves and elves that were kind of just more or less getting ready to help with the other demons or the other fiends as they died. And this kind of charges the group. Everyone kind of wants to protect the prince, and everyone targets this thing and brings it down pretty quickly. It does cause some damage to the big group, but nothing fatal. And then they kind of try to find the power source for this tower, explore all these rooms that have not a whole lot in them, or just have books that no one can read, find these crystals, find this altar that's got blood and bones and seems desecrated and is covered in these runes that only Arbiter Rhodes can read, that kind of express one of the four statues is ill will towards another. One of those statues, these prominent figures. And once they get all the crystals in, power comes up, they go up the tower, and they find this great amazing view of kind of the entire circumference kind of just around them of the peninsula. And that's where we kind of left off, was that as it was kind of dusk, as the sun was setting at the top of this tower. So you're now all at the top of this tower, dusk is settling, you kind of see the sun set over the horizon of the peninsula, this view that you've never seen before, despite having perhaps traveled the land frequently. And it's quite amazing. A lot of the dwarves are just mouth agape. These, from what you know, dwarves live in the mountains. They are sometimes pretty high up, but they seem to think this is amazing. They've never seen anything quite like it. The elves as well. It's a beautiful sight. As the sun sets, darkness kind of overwhelms you all, and then lights turn on. As you guys had kind of powered up the tower, it seems that power had finally reached the top. And you notice a map sprawled out on the wall. This map, which I did not prepare. Give me a second here.
Is it a problem that I can see your open folder?
No.
Okay.
No. All right, that's cool.
Ooh, look at a giant star. Oh, the giant star is gone.
So I'm
All right.
guessing we're that peninsula right there.
Yep, you're the peninsula right here.
Yeah.
Towards the south, not the most southern one, but that one. The stream can now see it. So that peninsula is where you guys are, and this little tiny little square here is where you guys are. So this is kind of what's there, and then Arbiter Rhodes would notice that this is the lands of his people. And he kind of expresses that to the party as he's
The
not
entire
here.
thing is the land of his people?
Yeah, so this was the original kingdom
Wow.
Oh, wow.
of the old people, and he expresses this to the group, and
Wait, so like in character, he's like showing us this map?
well, he
So
kind
we
of
can
just
see it?
tells you that this was
Oh,
this
okay.
was the kingdom.
Can I ask him what that little spattering of islands there to the right is? Because like everything else on this map is really cool, but I just want to know what those little islands are for.
He wouldn't know in too much detail. He's a guard from this town.
Damn. All right.
It was a vast empire that had known peace for quite a long time. So he is,
Yeah.
confused as to why no one's here. Yeah. Anyone's reactions to this? Just kind of.
Just like, whoa.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah, this is beyond the known world to you guys.
I'm unfazed.
You're unfazed.
Wow. Yeah, no, like from birth, all that we've known is like that relatively small peninsula, and then like just all this other stuff has just been shown to us.
Yeah. The prince is excited. A lot of the dwarves seem confused, so do the elves. People are just kind of, this is a lot to kind of grasp. No one's really traveled that far. The Tabaxi among the group would probably know from like way, 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 way back. I'm not sure how far your ancestry goes back, but they would have traveled from beyond, as they're not native to this peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have known there's got to be more. There's not many of me around here.
Yeah. I would have had an idea.
Yeah.
So.
Um.
Oh, yeah. Oh, quick note to everybody. We have upgraded to have snacks this week. Thanks to the immense funding we got from our 5 viewers last session.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
All that sponsorship now, we've upgraded with snacks. So if they get loud or annoying or distracting or anything, just let us know in the chat.
Yeah, don't forget to let them know that I'm the sponsor for these snacks.
Shout out to our sponsor, Sereana Simpson.
All right, so one of the dwarves kind of pipes up, and now that he's seen all this, perhaps we should explore the rest of the ruins. I'm too sick to do accents this week.
No, that's fair.
Yes, well, that actually sounds like a good plan. I mean, we don't know what else is around here. There could be other nasties, and I'd rather not share a living quarters with such things.
Wait, we're not going to bed?
I feel no need to. I'm not sleepy.
But
Yeah,
isn't it like nighttime? We haven't had a long rest. We had a fight.
Well, like it's just dusk. Like it just turned to nighttime, so it would be like around maybe 7:30, 8ish. So it's not quite late yet. You could probably get around for another 2 hours.
Plus, we just got promised like a kingdom, basically, to help build a kingdom. I'm not sleeping for a while after.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I'm pretty keyed
I'd be
up.
up all night.
Yeah. Some of the dwarves are like, I like agreeing, kind of
Well-
like, I.
Yeah,
Some
I'm
of
pretty
us
sure.
are a little tired.
I'm pretty sure the dwarves are going to be up all night drinking. I don't think you could sleep anyways.
It's a pretty big town, and there aren't a lot of us here.
Well, I'm gonna go and explore. A lot of the dwarves are like, yeah.
I'll join you.
I
If
think
you
I
don't
will
mind.
as well. Yes.
Yeah. So,
I'll go.
so you guys all kind of get back on the elevator. Some kind of unload some stuff up here and kind of put it down, as they assume this would probably be the hardest place to get to.
Yeah.
So a lot of them kind of undo their bags of stuff they may have been carrying from traveling. And they all kind of get on the elevator. One or two seem kind of like, we'll stay up here and guard stuff just in case. They're not too sure. So everyone gets back on the elevator.
Yeah.
All right. And you guys go down the elevator, and we'll switch the map over to back to the valley. So as you guys come down the elevator, you're greeted by this familiar surroundings of that kind of open room with the columns and the statues. Some dwarves kind of just wander around the room looking around, or some wander out to the outside, some wander into the other hallways and kind of seem content to try to fix the pathway that was crushed by rubble.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anywhere you want to go?
I mean, we've already kind of checked this area of the tower.
Yeah. Do you have stuff planned for like the rest of the buildings in there, or are we
I
just gonna
don't
be
have
wandering?
any. I don't have any maps specifically for the tiny buildings. You guys can kind of start wandering, and if you guys go into a building, maybe something will happen. I don't know. Like I said, some of these buildings are pretty ruined.
Yeah.
I would say your best chances of structural integrity, the bigger the building, probably the more
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
overall
for sure.
integral
yeah.
it would be.
I just didn't want to like go into a spot and you had nothing planned for it, and you get caught with your
Yeah.
metaphorical pants down.
Yeah, well, this time, like, I know in the last session, I did kind of do a whole lot of, like, a lot of wasteful time in sense of, I should have just told you all those rooms are empty, you check them all. Like, just kind of summed it all up quickly.
Yeah.
So if that does happen, I'll do it this way.
All right, we'll
Just to
yell at
save
you.
time and keep things rolling and
Yeah.
make things interesting for the sake of, everyone involved.
I feel as though for me at least, I would kind of like as soon as we get outside the tower, I'm going to be looking, kind of just doing a quick circle around,
Okay.
and seeing what buildings seem like they aren't caved in, and then if it seems to me like the bigger ones are the more
Right.
suitable, I'd just kind of choose one that seems the most pristine.
Okay, so as you guys come outside, you'll notice that there is kind of these posts in this along like the very sides of this kind of almost like a square, this open area. There's like these posts, and some of them are damaged beyond repair, but some of them are actually lighting up. And you notice that light from the tower, the very top of the tower, is lit with that giant crystal that was kind of protruding out before. It's on the very top of that tower.
Wow.
So that there's kind of lights coming off the tower. There's lights coming off of some of the ruined buildings, some of the ruined posts. Some of them are completely dimmed because they're just very, very damaged. Some of the posts are just smashed. So it's almost as if this tower was a power source for this small kingdom city.
That's cool.
I would imagine this city used to be quite wondrous. There's lights everywhere. It's pretty cool.
Some of the dwarfs are looking at like the posts and kind of like poking at them and trying to figure it out. Some of the dwarven cities use like bioluminescent mushrooms or kind of like fireflies or stuff to kind of light their tunnels. So they're always looking for ways to light things that don't take a lot of resources. So they're pretty interested in this. This is great for them. You as an artificer would also think this is just insane. I don't know.
I'm not
From
sure. I've seen Magic Light before, so I'm just kind of like, it's all right.
I also
It's
don't care.
pretty wide scale magic though. Like
I mean, like,
True.
do you guys know the kind of power that must be in that crystal? If
No.
it's activating all of these things remotely?
like some of these buildings are massive.
That's crazy.
I'm just giving you a polite look.
Keep in mind, I know like I tried to draw this map somewhat to scale, but it's pretty hard whenever I couldn't get like the hex grid to fit on here and be up to scale with the actual giant map. But if we were like, if you look at the normal like map for the peninsula, each of those tiny hexes was 5 miles. So it took about 2 hexes to do the entire valley. So this valley was about 10 miles wide. So like, it's pretty big.
How big across is the tower again? Just so I have like a reference scale.
yeah.
Is it like 500 feet across? Is it like
That's an excellent question. I'll bring that
like
up.
1,000? Yeah. Just in case I need to renovate this place, flip it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Nice going.
Would you want to get into like a tower restoration project there, TJ?
I don't know if I'd
With
have the magical know-how to fix this thing up.
Think how much we could sell this for.
Sell it?
It's priceless.
What do you mean?
Buy a
Lemieux?
You could buy a kingdom with that much money.
We have a kingdom.
Yeah, but you could buy a better one. Look at this. This is a fixer-upper kingdom.
No.
So it's 165 feet across, which translates, I don't know, feet to meters.
It's about 3 feet per meter, so it'd be about 50 meters across.
It's probably bigger than that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a lot.
No, it's not.
It's
that
massive,
big, actually.
so it's probably bigger than that.
Let's quadruple that. It's 200 meters across, a fifth of a kilometer.
Yeah. It's massive, anyways. I've tried to do the scale to a scale that made sense, anyways.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Metric and imperial system are confusing to switch between.
Yes.
Darn Americans. Shots fired. So as you guys kind of come out, that's kind of the view you're greeted by, and you were kind of wandering around looking for just a building that would be kind of big, structurally sound.
Something that
Interesting.
hopefully won't fall on me. Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of the smaller buildings seem pretty crumbled. You notice there's some towers. There's well, you wouldn't see this. So there's a tower over to your right, and then like a smaller tower there as well. Some of those buildings look pretty decrepit. And you also notice, like, if you're looking out into the courtyard, across the courtyard, you'll notice a pretty big building. You would have walked past it earlier. It looks a little decrepit, not as bad as some of the smaller buildings, just because it's bigger and it looks like it was built stronger.
Yeah.
So you might be able to find some stuff in that. As you look across there, I want you to roll a perception.
All right.
Oh, what did I do with my... Oh.
That is a 12, sir.
Oh.
And as well, about how tall are like the smaller towers compared to that one big tower? Like half the height, like a quarter.
Well, it's pretty damn tall, so
Ooh,
probably
I got
a half to a
5 for
quarter. Some of them,
perception.
like, the bigger one's a half, the other one's a quarter, approximately.
All right.
Sorry, how much?
I rolled a 1, so I also got a 5. I'm just basically looking at the lights, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
I got a 5, and I rolled a 5, and I got a 5.
Okay,
Well, I got
So-
12.
Lemiao, you would notice the previous construct that was in ice. It's almost out of the ice now. It's fairly thawed.
Oh.
It's pretty close to being completely out of it, but still, like, the main kind of, like, core part is kind of frozen, and, like, part of the legs is frozen.
Does he look cool like Ryan does?
He looks slightly smaller than Arbiter Rhodes, but he looks pretty similar. Like, he's just kind of a little bit different looking.
Does he look?
He seems to be the same race as whatever Arbiter Rhodes is, but you're not quite sure what would be a distinguishing fact between them. Is he might be a little bit of a different tinge of color.
Does he seem pretty chill?
He
Alright, stop.
he's warming up, but yeah,
He's warming up to me.
I'd say chill's a pretty good word.
Well, the last guy thought we were intruders, and whenever he found actual intruders, he kind of cut them both up pretty quick. So I'm a little alarmed, and I'm just gonna pull on Priscilla's arm and go, Priscilla?
Yes.
Uh,
What can I do for you?
Does that robot man over there look a little defrosted to you? A little bit too much for my liking?
Does he look a little bit defrosted
Is
to
he?
me now?
You're pointing it out to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm like right
you
there.
would see he's looking
Right
pretty close to out of ice.
Yeah, I guess he does.
I mean-
well, isn't that lovely?
Maybe
Why
the
don't we
artificer
have
had.
Why don't we have Arbiter Rhodes just hang out here with him until it defrosts, and so they'll have friends to be able to talk to each other, and but nobody will kill anyone.
Oi, Peleus.
Yes.
I love using oi. It's like just like the common folk. Oi, Peleus.
Yes.
What do you think of our metallic friend over there? Does he seem a little bit over there?
Right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I was a little bit distracted.
By the way, it's
Yes.
You seem quite fascinated by them.
Right.
Yes. Do you think A, that he'll come out of that ice, B, think that we're intruders, and C, deal with us as intruders? In that order.
Like, from my very limited knowledge of
If
Yes.
anything's to say, Arbiter Rhodes was pretty strict. Like, he was law enforcement, so you would assume he's probably either going to react the same or he was a commoner of this village.
Yeah,
right?
like I don't know what his laws are. Like we could be loitering right now, and the penalty for loitering is death, based on what I've seen.
Well,
So-
why don't we just have Arbiter hang out with him then?
I think that might be the best idea. Yes, actually, is if we could get Arbiter Rhodes to come. Does he seem like he's gonna be
Arbiter's not
defrosted
here.
soon? Or
Yeah, like within an hour
okay,
minimum.
Arbiter's in town though.
yeah. Could we kind of like call out Arbiter
Yeah.
Rhodes and just get him
Yeah.
to kind of?
I assume Arbiter Rhodes would be probably coming out of the tower at this point. Probably was talking to the prince or the other prince or a dwarf or an elf.
Or
He's-
the other
Peleus,
prince.
Yeah.
wait. Isn't this a great chance to sight the constructs up close while he's still encased in ice? Because I doubt Arbiter Rhodes will let you study him.
If you do remember, there's also one cut in half, and its remains is kind of just chilling.
Yes, I mean,
it might
we
be
kind of
better
have
to
more
look the one
pressing
that's cut in
matters
half.
at the moment, but it might be best just to call over Arbiter Rhodes and I kind of like gesture towards him. I was like, Arbiter Rhodes,
Did you just say gesture?
Citizen, I assume, was probably what he would say.
gesture. Bleh.
Gesture is when he's not
Yeah,
sure.
I assume he'd come over and be like,
So
Citizen.
he just
Yes, hello. I see that your friend there is almost defrosted, and I mean, you know that we are no threat to your kingdom, but we're just not entirely certain that your friend, after reactivating, will have the same opinion. Do you think you could stay here with him and if he does reactivate, kind of explain to him the current situation?
I think that is best. I was his captain.
Yes, okay. Well, that's good.
I assume Arbiter Rose just kind of like gives you a bit of a nod and like walks on over and just kind of like stands there and waits.
Oh, that guy's going to get so disciplined once he comes out. Why are you laying about? I'm a nice sir, I'm a nice. You think that's an excuse? Justice doesn't wait for you.
All right, so we're looking around more. You'd also see like this building here on the far side of the square was a bigger building, pretty intact, and then you could probably see out of the corner of your eye a bit of a bigger building with a fence around it over this way, which also looks pretty intact.
I mean, that smaller tower with the even smaller tower next to it would be closest, right?
Yep, yeah, it'd be slightly closer than this one.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd kind of point at that,
Okay.
and I'd be like, well, this seems like a good enough place to start. What do you think, Lemiao?
There's so many places to explore and so little time. Let's just pick one and go.
Yes, well, I'm picking this one, I guess.
agree.
Yes,
Let's go.
okay.
All right, so you guys head over to this tower. And so as you guys head over to this tower, you kind of pass in between two kind of L-shaped buildings. It almost makes like there's kind of a courtyard around, and the tower's in the middle, and kind of extravagantly makes its way up. So there was kind of like you see some trees. These trees are a little bit different. So the trees would be kind of positioned in like where the space between the tower and the L kind of is. So like, I'll use my cursor here. So like right about here. Here, let's actually draw so it's a little more visible.
Yeah,
So like right about here, and there's a tree here. And you notice these trees kind of have like they look almost crystal-like as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're kind of partially wood, partially crystal-like.
And I'm guessing I've never heard of trees growing crystal before.
Not really, not like this in any way whatsoever. You probably would have seen ancient trees and like the Elvish imbued with magic. They kind of have like almost like a glow off of them. So it's not like the weirdest thing you've ever seen, but it's still very weird.
Just on a random guess, the crystals like at the top of the tower and the ones that are lighting our way, do they seem like kind of the same kind of crystals?
Similar in color, yeah. You would deduce they're similar.
Okay.
The trees also do have like leaves.
Oh, leaves and crystals.
Yeah, well, like it's part of like the bark.
Oh.
Like the actual tree part is the crystals.
Oh.
Can I walk over to one and just kind of like, I've got a crowbar and a hammer. Can I just try to like chip away a bit of crystal?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Can I just walk over and
I
destroy
think I
these
would
priceless artifacts?
really
Well, I mean, just a lot,
appreciate it.
just a tiny little bit of crystal.
For science.
I would really appreciate it if you wouldn't destroy nature.
But
Leave
look
it
at them.
alone.
But science.
But leave it alone.
Okay. I
Right.
give like a longing look at the crystal trees, but I turn back.
Well, wait, I have a question for you. You say to leave it alone because it's part of nature, right?
Yes?
But I've never seen crystal trees growing in nature before. Is it really part of nature?
Haven't you also never seen a magical bunny walking around?
Yeah.
I'm part of nature.
So, those trees aren't. We don't want to chip away a piece of you. We're talking about those trees.
Just because you're stupid doesn't mean that they're not part of nature.
Wow. Hey, Peleus,
I'm
pass me that hammer.
This is my hammer.
Fine. I was going to take the samples for you, but if you want to.
Well, I feel as though that might cause Priscilla some emotional distress. And
She just insulted me and called me stupid.
yes, well, let's move on.
Wow. So many allies here.
So you leave the tree.
I leave the tree,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Alright, so that you notice there's an entrance to the tower. You kind of go inside. This tower is illuminated. It's kind of got like an arcing staircase upwards, and there's kind of like floating platforms, kind of at like various intervals, as you kind of go up.
Okay.
So it's kind of like you'd have like the staircase, and then there'd be a circular platform, but it's not touching the staircase, so there's like an inch or two of space in between the staircase, so it's just kind of floating there, not attached to anything.
Is there anything on those platforms?
Some of these platforms have kind of some like they look like studies or like laboratories, so like a variety of books or instruments or kind of scrolls. From what you can tell so far from what you've seen, this seems to have been a city full of people who were studying something. You're not quite sure what, as you can't speak or read any of the. Well, I guess you can't read any of the tomes. Like you can't speak to the tomes either. But
yeah. So, are they in disrepair or are they in fairly good condition?
These are in better condition. Some of the walls seem to have kind of like had damage done, so some of them are kind of like bashed inwards a bit. So there's a bit of like like the opposite of depression, like an impression.
Okay.
Kind of coming in, but they haven't been quite broken inwards. As if
Sorry.
it's been smashed really hard from the outside.
Yeah.
Basically, is what I'm trying to explain.
I mean, like, as long as the actual laboratories look in good condition, I mean, I feel as though Peleus would be quite excited. He'd be like, "Ooh, well, this seems like something I'll have to explore further."
Would you kind of go up to the first level?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So as you kind of get closer to this first level, you see like a better idea of what there's some flasks and stuff and kind of like almost like a chemistry set. And you do notice there's some liquids inside them.
Ooh. Is there any way for me to deduce what kind of liquids those are? Could I maybe roll for it?
Yeah, you could take a definite roll of what would that be?
Intelligence?
I was almost gonna say like a nature, but I think intelligence would be better. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I can do like Arcana or Nature if you want me to.
Arcana or
it's just
nature,
in
or
check,
Arcana or intelligence, whatever you have better.
I have proficiency with Arcana.
Okay, so do that.
Alright, well, that is a 24.
24.
Yeah.
There's a magical properties to these liquids.
Ooh.
To find out what they are, you'd probably have to give them a whiff or something. It's hard to tell.
Do they seem like potions or are they like
Um,
acids? Or
they're more of a chemical compound you'd imagine to be used for potions. It looks like someone's alchemy set, really.
Okay, cool.
For that good of a roll, yeah, that's.
All right, yeah. I'd like to kind of like. I'm guessing there's like a cork. Maybe like pop the cork and give it a whiff.
Well, some of the liquids are kind of imbibed in the chemistry set.
Oh, okay.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. Some of them are imbibed in kind of the chemistry set, so you couldn't really get to them unless you filtered it through.
Yeah.
Towards the end, you can kind of get to some of them. Though.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to kind of like just tell what those liquids are. Just like give them a quick sniff or
Okay,
something.
so if you want to
why
go,
don't you give him a quick taste?
Not yet.
Not yet.
from the two last ones, which are the ones. There's two of the last ones. Those are the two that you can easily access. They're kind of just on flasks, and they seem to have been kind of being filtered in towards the end to kind of mix this all together into some sort of solution.
Yeah.
As you kind of pick those off and give them a whiff, they definitely don't smell like acids or anything kind of dangerous to ingest. One of them actually has a pretty pleasant aroma.
Okay. And you said that the set seems to be engineered to make something drip into a final solution. Is there anything where that would be?
No, the flask, the chemistry set seems to be damaged at the very end, so it wouldn't be able to pour into anything.
Oh, okay. Is it just the one chemistry set, or are there like multiple?
Yeah, there's just one on this platform.
Okay.
It's decently big for, like,
Yeah.
there's probably 6 or 7 liquids in this entirety thing.
Okay.
So it's pretty long and extravagant, but the 2 last ones seem to have been kind of just added towards the end to kind of maybe kind of add magical properties. These 2 seem to be giving off a more magical.
Okay.
You're not gonna drink any of these, are you?
Well, that was not my plan. No.
It's common knowledge that if you want to figure out what a potion is, you take a sip.
You do take a sip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a taste,
might-
anyways.
I might take like a very tiny taste.
If I
then.
see him going for one, I'm just gonna stop.
Yeah.
Please.
The color of one of these potions is red, the other one's blue.
Well, I'm gonna take a taste
Stop!
of the red one.
Okay.
Stop.
You feel rejuvenated.
Wait,
in-
I'm gonna
in-
cast command.
Why?
Drop.
Well,
So he started taking the sip already.
So, how does command work? You just...
I have to make a charisma saving throw,
Okay.
or else I do what she says.
Okay.
What's the DC?
Is your spell save DC?
13.
Ha! 20. So no.
So you take a sip?
I take a sip.
You slowly extend the middle
You
finger
know
towards
this to
her.
be a potion of greater healing.
Ooh. Well, this appears to be a potion of greater healing. Why would you stop me? It's common knowledge that you have to take a sip of something to tell what it is.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
And I mean, I deduced beforehand that it was not an acid or anything of the sort.
You didn't say that.
Oh.
And how can we really know? I just don't want you to get hurt.
Well, I mean, I'm quite knowledgeable in the area of magic, really. I have some proficiency with it.
Okay.
Right. And then I'm going to pick up the other one, and I'm going to take a sip.
No!
Are you trying to stop him again?
Yes, I'm gonna command you
Oh.
to drop again.
God,
Oh
why?
my god.
That's another 20! No!
You slowly extend the middle finger towards her.
So what about this one?
You know this to be a potion that will decrease a level of exhaustion.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so like holding these potions, I'm like, I don't know why you wish me to stop, but I've found out that this one seems to be a potion of greater healing, and this one actually is a potion of I'd say like rejuvenation. It reduces exhaustion.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes. Are you quite calm now?
Yes.
Okay. and then I'd like to store those in my bag of holding.
Sure thing.
Yes. I got a bag of holding now.
Yeah, add
So
them
level
to your inventory.
That's what I forgot.
Oh yeah, so for everyone, everyone's level 2 now.
Yes.
Just a quick heads up. So that is why the artificer now has a bag of holding, as they get that at level 2, or to get an item. He chose bag of holding. All right, so you kind of put those in your bag. You guys would notice more books. There's some instruments, but they just look like your normal, like, kind of tongs and whatever you'd hold
Oh,
chemistry
and you
stuff
said
with.
instruments. I thought you meant like musical.
No, like
instruments.
Yeah.
scientific instruments.
Like they just look like your regular instruments, like tongues.
Yeah, and then there's a lute
What?
next to this chemistry set. No. This guy liked to sing to his chemicals.
I mean, you never know. There are some fucking crazy magicians out there.
All right, so do you guys want to keep going up the tower, or
Well, you said that this was quite a large alchemy set, but
you wouldn't be able to pocket it?
yeah, but would I be able to like take certain pieces of it to make like a smaller alchemy set, or just not do that?
You could probably take some stuff off of it and make like half an alchemy set.
All right, no, I'll leave it there, and then
Alright.
if I need anything, I can probably just come back. So let's go to the next level.
All right, so you guys kind of head up. As you're going up the stairs, you notice more and more damage the higher you're kind of going. One of the steps kind of lodges and kind of tilts. It doesn't quite give out, but it kind of gives you, whoever's going first kind of has a bit of a panic attack in regards to that. Just kind of like, ooh, almost like they thought they almost fell.
Okay.
As there is no guardrail or anything.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, so this
How
is,
wide is the steps?
they're decently wide. Like the tower is pretty big, and like so, and there's platforms at every like couple meters up.
Okay.
So just kind of a weird architectural like build. You've never quite seen anything quite like it.
Yeah.
The elves have similar, but they have like guardrails and things actually attached.
No.
So as you kind of climb, you get towards the second level, and you see more books, but you notice different kinds of stuff here. There's no chemistry set. There's actually kind of some weapons. You'll notice a couple simple weapons, a couple daggers, some hand axes, and what else do I have here? A spear and a sickle.
Oh.
Any chance of a rapier?
No, these seem to be just simple weapons.
Damn.
Well, this could be quite useful to the prince if he needs to outfit any of his guards or anything like that. Do you guys need any weapons?
Do you think any of them are magical weapons?
It's possible. We could go.
I cast detect magic as well.
Yeah,
At will, using my eldritch sight.
Yeah, you can definitely cast detect magic. None of these seem to be inherently magical weapons, but they do seem to have been made of different stone, like a stone of magical properties, almost the same stone as all the structures here. So they're not quite made of metal, which is bizarre.
Oh.
Is that readily apparent just from looking at it?
You'd notice that it's not a normal metal you've seen. You wouldn't know about the stone unless you rolled for it.
I wouldn't have told them that.
Yeah, so you'd have to roll if you wanted to figure out
Alright.
what kind of metal it's made out of. But she would know just from the detect magic. Because it's giving off a magical hue.
Does it look like obsidian?
No, it seems to be similar to the color of these buildings, which is kind of like a
Stone.
light, kind of almost clear gray.
Okay.
Alright.
Well, I mean, as long as they didn't need any of the weapons, I was just gonna kind of put them in the bag of holding for the prince later.
Right,
If his
so no
guards
one-
wanted any of them.
No one needs anything
Do
out
you
of
guys
them.
want any?
Actually, no. I like spheres, but I already have a forest staff.
All right. Yeah. So then that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm just gonna kind of.
Yeah, I'm not so generous as to give you guys another magical weapon this
That's
early
fair.
on.
That's fair.
I thought I'd ask anyways. Just
That's
in
fair.
case.
So as you guys kind of keep climbing, these steps seem to be more and more rugged. The tower seems to be more and more damaged. There's actually a hole in the tower. And as you kind of climb up, you feel very insecure. I'm gonna get who's leading.
I feel as though I might be leading.
Yeah. I feel like you would be too.
Curiosity kills the cat.
All right, you're gonna have to roll a dex save, or acrobatics if you're better.
I got a 1. So no.
You're too mystified.
All right. So you guys notice him fall.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
I have feather fall. Wait, where does he fall down? I do
He's
have
falling.
feather fall.
You guys climbed up probably about a meter, so he's falling a meter.
Well, there's nothing
A
I
meter.
can do. Wait,
yeah,
no,
so that's
there's
like
no-
4 or 5 feet.
Yeah,
right?
you're on your
Oh,
own.
yeah,
Oh,
you're
well.
fine.
Can I make a roll to see how I land?
Yeah, you can make a roll to like an acrobatics.
Alright, cool.
Like,
Well, that's
awesome.
better. 23.
Yeah, okay, you land on your feet. You're pretty unsure about keep going up now, though. So
Yeah, no, maybe we go check the other spots.
I am quite alright with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So you guys gonna go back down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys go back down. Nothing happens as you go down, so you're all good going back down. You are like careful to watch that step that had kind of tilted before. As you guys get back down, you're back out in this kind of courtyard with the trees, and we'll zoom back out on the map just a little bit. Here, let's fit on the screen. All right. So you guys come out here. Oh, you would have also noticed another door out.
Okay.
If you wanted to go out that door, sorry.
Actually, I think I might have wanted to go out that door just to see where it led.
Okay, that's fair. Do you guys want to go out that door too?
Why not?
You're just
Yeah.
kind of following him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it. He seems like the man with a plan right now.
All right.
I have no plan.
He
So you
seems
guys,
like he might hurt himself.
True. He needs supervision.
so you guys kind of come out the other door, which leads kind of in between another 2 L buildings. You do notice another tree right about here. similar.
I gaze longingly at the tree and at Priscilla, and I'm just shake my head.
So you guys kind of. Sorry.
Is there any way I can sneak up to the tree without Priscilla noticing?
You could roll a stealth check.
I will roll a stealth check.
That does not
it's
beat
an
my passive
11.
perception. Wait, 11?
Yeah.
Well, that beats my passive perception.
Ooh, baby.
Are you like? I'm not.
If
gonna
you're
roll
not
that.
actively looking
Yeah.
for him,
I wouldn't be actively, but we would have been
Alright.
right next to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but sometimes
like,
you know
like,
you're
walk
just
back.
like this is a brand new place.
Yeah, I am more worried about him.
Yeah,
That's true. So
So I kind of like.
I would have rolled like if he was the one stealthing away,
Yeah,
you
for
would have
sure,
gotten a perception roll on him. But
Alright.
since it's him, you're good.
So I'm kind of like tiptoeing away, like an old style cartoon, like with the exaggerated movements.
Pink Panther style.
Tiptoeing up to one of these trees, and as I get up to one of the lower branches, I want to look at the crystals first,
Mhm.
and if there's nothing too interesting about them, I'm hoping to just whack off a little branch with the quarterstaff.
Right.
Little
You don't want to
No,
do
like,
any
like
kind
a,
of.
like a, not a whole branch right off
Right.
the tree, like a twig at the end.
Okay, so you knock off just a bit of the tree,
Sweet.
and it's kind of got a bit of, like you would have knocked one
Does
off
he have
that
to
head.
roll like stealth for noise?
I mean, yeah, I guess twigs are
All right.
Twigs
let's
are
do
snapping.
this.
and like crystal twigs.
Never mind.
Yeah.
19.
Nice.
You don't hear shit.
yeah. Someone sneezes in the distance. You get this little twig here, and as you kind of grab it, you notice like the color of the crystal. It's part of this kind of branch, so like it's got wooden part to it, and also like a crystal part, kind of.
Okay.
So it's kind of like it's hard to explain, but it's kind of like mixed in.
Cool.
It's
kinda
like
like
it's like the
marble.
leaves are
That's so
crystal.
cool.
Kind of,
Like studded, like crystal studded in the branches almost.
kind of. It's
Why
I
would
can
you
visualize
stop
it really
me?
well, but I'll try to draw it for you guys at a later date.
All right.
Just whenever I have more time and don't kind of just been like,
Yeah.
all right, let's do something brand new, because no one wants to come to my campaign.
Aw.
We wanted
you guys
to
are
come,
great.
that's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So as you kind of grip this little branch, you notice the crystal kind of portion to it kind of glows a little dimmer, but it still gives off a faint glow. Not enough to give you like a light source of any kind, but like it's noticeable,
All right. Well,
especially in the darkness. I mean, there is lights all around you from the towers and stuff, and you do feel a bit of energy pulsing through it.
is there a chance I can break off a second branch, just for my friend Peleus here, so he won't take mine?
Yeah, you'll have to roll another stealth.
All right. That's a 14.
Okay.
You don't hear shit. So I got 2 branches now.
Yep.
Sweet.
How big of the branches would you have been going for?
I would have been going for about
Like
Just
finger
kinda like-
finger length, about like middle finger length.
Yeah, so kind of like just like the end twigs, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I didn't
Fair.
want Miss Nature all up in my grill. Speaking of which,
No,
I'm
he
gonna
just wants to desecrate nature without the consequences.
I'm just gonna tuck these into my pack. Check to make sure they're not glowing outside the pack, like visibly.
No, they're not. Definitely not glowing.
I bet if
Alright.
you
They're
shove
not-
them up your ass, they will glow.
They're not glow sticks by any means. Like way dimmer than that.
All right.
Well,
I'm
I
going
feel as
to-
though my plan would have been to kind of like go to the other tower. So while he's doing that,
Well, you wouldn't have known the other tower's there. 'Cause
Oh,
this
okay.
big tower's in the way. You guys came out here, so
all right,
feasibly
I wouldn't
you
have seen
couldn't
it
have- you
whenever I
couldn't
was
have
first
seen
coming
it.
up to it.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well then,
Like you would have.
never
Oh,
mind.
you mean this little tiny one?
Yeah.
You would have seen it whenever you came up to it, but you could head over to that. It doesn't look structurally sound though.
Oh, it does not.
No.
Okay. Well then, I would have gone around to check it out,
Yeah.
seen that it doesn't look sound, and then just decided not to to come
Okay.
back.
Okay, and that would totally been of what he was like he was getting those branches while you were doing
Yeah,
that because he would have been
exactly.
right behind you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that works great. So you kind of come back here. I want you to roll a perception, Priscilla,
Shit.
as you guys walk by the tree.
Ah, shit.
11.
Yeah, you don't notice. They were tiny twigs. You'd have to roll pretty high to.
Oh, damn. So I just snuck back like into the
Bored.
group and nobody noticed.
Yeah, but like you would have came back and you would have been just behind them, so she would have just assumed like. I was more getting her to roll to see if the branches were broken off.
I'm just all like drenched in sweat now from sprinting up behind them.
Yeah, you had to go all the way around the other side of the town.
I had to do it like 10 seconds. Like, oh, I'm an athlete apparently.
Yeah, so you guys are now kind of heading out this direction, I assume.
Yeah.
All right.
I
so you would
guess-
see.
Sorry, I didn't see where your mouse was. Which direction?
I just
arrow.
drew
That
the arrow.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You mean the dick?
Wait, what?
You mean the very small dick? The micro
With the
penis?
huge
have you-
balls? I
Yeah.
feel like that's not realistic.
It's a micro penis.
Have you seen an arrow before?
Have you seen a penis before? Is my question.
Yeah, have you never seen a micro dick? Like every day when you look down.
Oh, shit.
Got him.
Look, just...
So
no.
I'd like to go towards the building with the fence,
Yeah.
please.
All right. You go towards this big building. This almost looks like, I guess, it looks like a big building, almost like a hall of some sort, maybe.
Okay.
I feel like that'd be the best description. I was gonna say a temple, but temples aren't really a huge thing in this world.
Does it look like a barracks, perhaps?
More of a hall.
Oh,
You're
okay.
not quite
Like
sure
a-
what
like a
kind.
Okay, what's with the squiggly fence?
That's the.
It's just how I drew a fence.
Okay.
I didn't know how to show a fence besides making lines, and I was like, well, that doesn't really give a fence because you might think it's a wall.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm just assuming that they put
sorry.
what are they
Trying to-
called? Like the spike traps?
No, it's just a normal
The ramp?
Yeah, it
traps?
made me think of barbed wire fence.
Yeah, I don't know. It's more of like a stone picket fence, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but
Oh, that's fair.
All right, cool.
It's not the weirdest thing I've seen today.
Yeah, so
that's
I'd like to.
that's very true.
I mean,
Yeah,
like, does
he
it
has
look
a
structurally
mirror.
sound at all, or does this
Yeah.
hall look structurally sound?
Oh yeah, it looks pretty sound.
No.
It looks like parts of the
don't
ceiling
know what I
have kind of
said, do
caved
you?
in and like bits have been beaten.
Mm.
But it looks like it's such a big building and it's like
I said
so
that.
structurally sound that
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
whatever damage was done, you could still get inside and probably move around, but it's hard to tell from out here.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'd like to go in and check it out.
All right, so you kind of open it up, and you open it up, and it's kind of got two big doors. I forget what the term is for two big doors.
Like double doors.
Well, you have double doors, but like there's a term for whenever you have like the big doors of like
Like
Hogwarts kind of doors. You know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a term for that.
Let's just
Alright.
say barn doors for now.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna call them Hogwarts doors
All right. Cool.
Alright.
because they don't
That makes
slide
sense.
open; they just
Yeah.
open. So you kind of walk in, and you kind of see like there's kind of pews. Some of the pews have been crushed by stone, and you kind of notice this kind of like a stage up further, and then the stage kind of takes up almost half the building, and then there's kind of like beyond the stage there's kind of like a wall, and you could tell there's based on the size of the building there would be more
Does it seem
more
like,
behind there, and like there's an upstairs. You can tell there's kind of rampart kind of stuff up upstairs. Just kind of a broad view. You're looking around.
Does it seem like it was kind of like maybe an entertainment hall, or
You've seen halls that it could resemble that a bit, or it could be like a meeting hall. Like you're not quite sure
okay?
the origin, but like it could be an entertainment hall, it could be a meeting hall. It could even be a barracks. It looks kind of military too.
All right. Is there anything in the kind of area that we're at now that looks interesting, or maybe
The-
anything moving, or?
One sec, let me pull up my notes. So there's a chair on the stage. A single chair.
Just the one.
Yep. And it's a very nice wooden chair made of that same kind of crystal-like bark.
Does it look throne-like?
It looks pretty grand, but not to the scale of a throne. Maybe whoever was entertaining or whoever was speaking or whatever would have been sitting there.
I'm gonna look at Priscilla. I'm gonna say, now this chair has already been made, and it's not alive
Oh, do
anymore.
whatever the fuck you want to that chair.
Thank you. I'm gonna run up to the chair. I'm gonna like get a little piece of it.
Okay.
Sorry, buddy. I didn't know you had it.
So as you come up to the chair to hit it, before you get the chance to hit it, you kind of hear in your head the words, "Sit upon it, and you'll see your worst fears. To see your worst fears, you will be justly rewarded."
I freeze.
Is there something wrong with the chair?
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
there was a voice that
Oh God, you're hearing things.
Wow.
Please step away from the chair.
Why are the smart ones always so nuts?
Please step away from
what
the
was
chair.
it the chair said again?
It said, sit upon it and you'll see your worst fears. You will be justly rewarded for
Please
your
don't
worst
sit on
fears.
the chair.
Do you know what this chair is?
No, but if it's
So
talking
nice.
to him, it can't be good.
Wait, the chair, the piece of furniture, is talking to him.
I mean, I look at the chair and I look back at them.
It was,
and I look at the chair.
it was also a feminine voice.
Oh, okay.
Please don't sit on the chair.
I'm gonna
Why?
sit in
Why?
the chair.
What's on the chair?
Okay. So if you go to,
Why
sit,
do I
are
do
any of you gonna do anything as you see him kind of approach the stair instead of hitting it with his hammer as he intended? He's turning to kind of back into
Can
it.
I run up to the chair and kick it out of his way?
You can run up to the chair. As you get
What-
close
I don't
enough to it, you'll hear the same thing.
Wasn't that a stone
I ignore
chair?
it and I kick it.
He would be sitting down on it by this time.
But I ran.
I also
I've
ran.
sprinted.
Also, wasn't
Like
the-
I was
What's-
up
okay,
there. I ran up there.
What's your movement speed?
30.
What's your movement speed?
30?
Yeah, so
Okay,
he'd,
but I
he'd sit-
ran. I sprinted. I dashed.
But my movement speed can be 60.
Yep.
And as soon as I heard that there's
Okay.
stuff going on with the chair,
Okay,
I would have
okay. I'll rule with that. You're like kicking him as he's sitting into it.
Okay.
Why?
I'm okay with that. Do I have to roll an attack?
Yeah,
Take 1d4 damage.
it's gonna be that. It's gonna be an unarmed, improvised striker, unarmed.
Well, if it's unarmed,
You
it's
only
just
have
Do
one
I
plus
not have
strength.
proficiency then?
No.
No, not for the sake of this. You're not actually trying to hurt him.
Okay, 10.
Nope.
Doesn't hit your AC.
Doesn't hit my AC.
Okay. So you kind of just like put your foot on him while he's like sitting on it, and then his face just goes blank. And this is
Can
what
I pull him out of the chair?
well, he's gonna see this before, so I'm gonna do this first, and then you could pull him out
Okay.
because he's gonna see this as soon as his butt touches the chair. What you see before you is you see a forest on fire,
Oh no.
and you kind of you know what this forest is. You're in a dreamlike state. You don't realize what it is until you realize that it's your home. And as you kind of head into it, you see like the heads of wood elves on pikes. These pikes that are made of this black brimstone. You see like high elf heads. You see drow heads. You see bodies being eaten by other drow.
Oh god.
You see high elves eating the bodies of wood elves. You see, and then as you kind of breach through, you see the kind of like the castle of your prince, and you see his body hanging,
No.
and you see this shadowy figure shoot a fireball at it, and his body just burns and turns to ash. And then you see, you notice as the kind of all the ashes fall, you notice the ash piles of what would be one for each member of the royal family.
Wow.
This figure turns towards you and says, "You will relive this moment forever." And then casts something towards you. Everything goes dark, and it starts over.
Like it starts over?
Yeah, so you
Jeez.
come towards this field. You see that forest. You're not quite sure what's happening again. You notice it's your home,
Oh shit.
and you kind of go in, and you see all the heads on the pikes. You see the. Do you pull him off in this? Yeah, so you pull him off. He's still kind of he limply comes with you, falls to the ground, and doesn't react.
Wow.
I slap him in the face.
Nothing happens.
You know, I know it's a bad idea now, but as a tabaxi, I'm super curious about this chair. I gotta sit in it.
He's still alive. You can't tell he's taken any, like,
no,
nothing's
obviously,
wrong with
obviously
him.
he's not okay after sitting
If I
in that
see
chair.
him
for all
making-
intents and purposes, he's just asleep.
You're too busy slapping him. You can't do
No,
everything.
if I see him making a move for the chair, I'm going to tackle him.
Okay, that's fine.
Alright, I'm making a move for the chair.
I'm tackling him.
All right, roll to tackle.
Is this a contested grapple? Shit.
Yeah, I guess so.
I got 16.
I got
Fuck
7.
you.
I got 7.
Okay, so she tackles you to the ground. What, do you say anything?
Don't get in the fucking chair.
But I want to know what he saw.
Do you not see that he is not responding to us?
No, I see that. That's why I can't ask him what he saw in the chair. So I gotta see for myself.
Peleus's body stirs.
Oh, really? Okay, yay.
You wake up after having seen that over and over for a countless amount of times. You can't remember.
Wow.
You don't even remember this room as you kind of come up. You remember finding it. You remember kind of setting out to explore it, but that's all you remember. You don't even remember coming into this hall.
Wow.
You're distraught. You're
Like tears going down my
Yeah.
face.
I told you not to sit in the chair.
I feel kind of bad for him, but I still really want to get in that chair. So like, I'm still struggling.
You feel as you kind of get up, brush yourself off, try to pull yourself together. You're a high elf. You're a people that are very proud. You don't let others kind of only those closest to you see emotion, kind of thing.
If he struggles out of my grasp and does try to go back into the chair, I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast on him non-lethally.
Okay. You now feel something enveloping you as a set of notes once again. Sorry.
It's cool.
That's what happens whenever you make stuff right up, like 30 minutes before the session.
I'm
No,
getting
it's fine.
stuff.
You're doing good.
Came at a price, but I'm getting stuff.
Dude, I want to know what my deepest fears are.
Shouldn't you
Yeah, I
know
guess you
what
would
your
have heard the
deepest
voice
fears
too.
Well, I want to know what Evan thinks my deepest fears are.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, what would you think my deepest fears are?
All of your money
See?
just
See
disappears.
this curiosity? And I'm a tabaxi. You can understand why I want that chair.
All of your money just disappears.
Okay, but
No.
you, the player, are curious as to what
I
Evan
think
thinks your
you
fears
get
are,
a chain shirt envelops you.
Oh, okay.
And this, you know that you feel magic coursing through this chain shirt.
Ooh.
There's you also feel a whisper coming from your bag of holding.
Okay, well, like, does my AC change at all for the chain shirt, or?
You would have to attune to it.
Okay.
Attune.
mind that.
Attune.
I'm gonna slowly kind of like put my
He's
hand
atoning
into
for
my-
something.
I'm gonna slowly put my hand into my bag of holding then, and
You feel coins.
coins.
Yeah,
Can I feel how many coins?
there's too many.
A lot of coins.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna take my hand back out of my bag of holding. There's the coins. Huh.
What?
All right,
What?
I need to note
What?
this down.
How was it? How was it?
You also hear
What'd
a
you
voice
see?
say to you that some rewards come over time. It's the
confused.
same voice you heard before.
What did you
I'm
see?
so confused.
About what? What did you see? What was in the chair?
And you said that I don't remember getting into here?
You don't really remember coming into the room, but as you kind of been taking the time to kind of grab yourself to step, you're also still like tackled. You're kind of remembering it now, but like
Okay.
you're still caught with those vivid images. It felt like it was real.
Don't sit in that chair.
You're also still
Why?
like tackled, so these two are kind of like tiled
What-
on top of each
What
other.
are you doing?
I need to see what's in the
He
chair.
tried to sit in the chair.
I
Oh,
need
it
to
was-
see.
It was horrible. Don't sit in that chair. Oh, there was carnage.
What carnage?
Oh, it's just horrible.
Oh, I need to see. Can I like struggle even more?
Yeah, you can do a contested strength.
That's a 14.
That's a 4.
Ha.
I'm
You
Eldritch
kinda-
blasting him.
You kind of squirm out as you get smashed in the back by an Eldritch Blast.
Ow.
I get to roll damage, right?
Got an attack roll first.
Yeah,
of all.
attack
Yeah.
roll first.
I got a chance to dodge here.
Yeah, if you have advantage because he was kind of in a prone position.
What? Shouldn't she have
Oh,
disadvantage?
well.
Like
Oh wait, no, you just
counteracting
normal.
disadvantage? Just
Just normal.
I kicked her away.
Well, she's prone too, so I think she gets
Yeah, true.
disadvantage from
Okay,
that.
well, I got 16 then.
That does hit.
All right, roll your damage.
It's a 1d10 for Eldritch Blast, right?
Yep.
Do you have
I
agonizing
one-
blast?
She
Yeah.
has agonizing.
She can
blast.
one
I
shot
can
you.
one-shot you.
She can one shot me.
11. You're knocked out.
I'm not.
Yes! Yes!
Great. Now I don't get a fun experience sitting in this chair. I don't get greatly rewarded,
Does Priscilla want to sit in the chair?
Fuck no.
You don't know what happened to him.
Just remember, as soon as I wake up,
I
I'm
don't
sneaking
trust
away
this
from you.
chair.
I'm getting that chair. Ow. Hey, mischief.
I mean, seeing that, I'm just like, what is going on?
How long am I
He tried
knocked
to
out
sit in
for?
the chair.
How much? Wait,
How long will I be knocked out for?
until someone heals you?
But, like, realistically, it would be like an hour, 2 hours kind of thing.
Like, I don't know. For the sake of just making this fun, I'll give you like 30 minutes, unless someone heals you.
All right. I'm just
Or
thinking,
picks you
'cause
up, and then you'll probably
I
come
don't
to
think
faster.
anybody's going to heal me, so I just wanted to know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel as though after this, like,
I'm tying him up with rope.
What?
Good God, guy.
What?
I feel as though we should just like pick him up and take him back to the tower.
That
and,
is how I
and
feel as well, but I would
rest
like
and
to bind.
recuperate a bit.
I would like to bind his feet in case he tries to run back towards
I'm
his
just
chair,
glad you guys
like a
didn't.
fucking idiot.
I'm just glad you guys didn't have to throw like arbiter roads, like watch him. He's trying to sit in the chair or something.
Oh, thanks for the
right.
idea.
No, you can't use that. That's meta.
I
mean,
can use that all
Just
I
for the
want.
sake of it, it's only really been like 10 minutes since you guys left the top of the tower. So,
I
like,
mean, like, maybe we do want to continue without him.
Yeah.
well, I mean, I'm gonna
Thanks,
intervene in
guys.
that then.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Like,
No,
I'm gonna bring him back.
We'll like try to wake him up, but his
Yeah.
his feet are still bound a bit, so that like he can kind of only shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I a prisoner now? Like,
If you promise to not be stupid,
well, I'm
we can
asleep,
untie your
so
feet. Oh.
I'm still conquered out.
Can I do like a medicine check, try to wake him up?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
That'll count as a heal, for all intents and purposes.
Well, plus 2, 14.
Yeah, he's back up to 1.
Am I like a little bit delirious? Like, do I remember getting knocked out?
Yeah, you remember getting knocked out. You're not happy about it
Do I know why I got knocked out?
because you're trying to sit in the chair.
All right. All right.
You have quite a vivid,
Well, I meant more of
Thing.
like an eldritch blast in the back of the head, but
you'd have a good idea who knocked you out because someone's pretty distraught and the other
True.
one was wrestling you. Sorry.
Please,
I hate you.
don't continue to be stupid and this won't have to happen again.
Why did we take her with us?
Because you two tend to do stupid things.
I didn't ask you.
I'm just kind of gonna look like, other than you said that there was like an area behind the stage, but
Yep.
other than that, is there anything else around here other than that chair?
No, everything else seems to be kind of like there's like rubble kind of scattered across the stage. This seems to have been the only thing untouched.
Okay.
Hey, while we were scuffling,
Hmm?
those branches wouldn't have fallen out of his bag, would they?
No, I'm not gonna rule that.
Come on. You'll get everything. I can be mean back.
So, so is there like doors to get to the part behind the stage, or?
Yeah,
or-
there's they look to be made of stone though.
Okay. Well, I guess that's enough fooling around. I would suggest you don't go near the chair. Maybe we just continue looking in the building.
I won't. I'll promise not to go near a chair if you tell me what you saw exactly.
Are you feeling okay?
I saw my home village burning, and everyone was dead.
Oh, where's your home village?
He's an elf.
I'm an elf, the Elven Kingdom.
That's not your village, though.
It was my hometown.
Okay. Now, when you
could've
say
stayed
everyone
knocked
was
out.
burning, I just want to know. All right,
Let's
everyone.
just go. All
Like
right,
everyone?
It was,
Like
it
your
was
mom?
horrible.
I'd like to point out that he could have stayed unconscious.
Let's just go.
I'd like to point out that I'm a grown cat who can make my own decisions.
I'm already leaving.
All right, you're heading towards those doors.
Towards those doors.
As you head towards
So
those
he's
doors, you come up
leaving.
to those doors. They look pretty solid.
I'm keeping an eye on him.
Damn.
Mhm.
All right.
I mean, if you
all right.
want, you can roll a stealth and she can roll a perception.
If I want, I can just cast sleep and knock her out. That's payback.
Okay.
I can knock both of them
Not
out.
trying
actually.
to metagame here, but
Are you going?
Is there not a range on sleep? How far away are
Is
you
there
from
not
each other?
a save on sleep?
No,
I'm
there's
just-
no
No,
save
it's
on
you
sleep,
roll.
actually.
You roll.
It's a 20-foot range.
Okay,
I'm just really excited because that's the first kind of puzzly thing I made.
Yeah, all right. I'm curious about the puzzly thing too.
Yeah,
I
so
can
let's go to the
knock
doors.
them out later.
Okay.
Let's go to the doors.
So you head towards the doors. As you get closer to these doors, it almost looks like they're not quite doors, but they are. They're pretty solid. As you get closer, you're probably about 5 feet away from them. Text starts to appear. At first, in this language you can't comprehend. It looks like the same language as it's the same kind of script as the wall that had like the blood and the bones from the tower. And then it kind of changes, and then it kind of you all see it in all your native languages.
Oh. And what does it say?
It says, "The key exists in your head. Use the key to paint me red, but be aware of what you spur, for what has taken shall be returned."
What's in our head is our brains, and paint it red. Do they want us to kill ourselves? Is this a blood sacrifice?
No, there
door?
must be some sort of answer here.
Can I reread that?
Yeah. "The key exists inside your head. Use the key to paint me red, but be aware what you spur, for what has been taken shall be returned."
So inside your head is your brain. I think we can
Whoa,
all
whoa,
agree
whoa,
on
whoa.
that.
Yes, but I think that they mean more of a metaphorical sense. Maybe what you can think of in your head.
Yeah, that's part of your brain, is you can think it with it.
Yes, but I'm not saying we have to paint the door red with our brain.
I was kidding. Do you think I'm going to kill ourselves?
But the key exists inside your head.
Something painted red. Spur. What do you think spur means? But be careful what you spur.
Kind of.
What you have taken shall be returned. Close enough. Well, I think what do we have that's red?
Is there anything around that we could use that's red?
Not really.
No.
There's some blood from whenever he got hit by the Eldritch Blast.
Can
That's the only red thing around.
Can I go over and kind of like...
Do any of you guys have any cloth or anything that's red? Like, unless you guys have something that's red. You have a red potion.
Okay,
I do have a red potion.
True.
But
I don't.
first,
I don't know anything else.
If I notice the blood that got that happened whenever he got hit by the Eldritch Blast, I'd like to go over and kind of like run my finger along it and get some blood on my finger, and then I'd like to kind of like smudge it against the doors and see what happens.
I'm super uncomfortable.
You
with
notice
this.
that the
like
rock
that.
that you kind of put it on softens.
Softens?
Yeah.
Huh. Can I... Like, softens how?
Like it seems like
Like spongy?
no softens and it's not as rigid, and it almost seems like you could push it if maybe this all softened to that.
That would be a lot of blood. How big are the doors?
They're a lot smaller than the Hogwarts doors, but
They're
like
still pretty big.
yeah. I mean, there is 2 doors. You could.
Just do one.
I didn't say that, but yeah.
Yeah.
What are
Okay.
you doing there, Peleus?
Well, your blood seems to have
Please don't touch my blood.
softened the door.
Please don't touch my blood.
Oh, okay.
Wizards can do bad things with blood. Please don't touch my blood.
I'm gonna bleed you, boy.
I can touch my own blood.
Right. Well,
Well, if but you say
wonder
that
if
it
that-
softens the door.
yes, it seems like we could.
Well,
If the whole door was softened, we might be able to push it open.
if I remember correctly, there's a dead razor claw in the lobby that seems
Ooh.
Can I
large
cast
enough to paint the door
thaumaturgy
red.
to make the door look red?
You can. Nothing really happens.
That's actually
There's
not
a
a bad
razor
idea. Actually, how about we go get that beast and bring it here?
Well, I'm feeling a little bit woozy, so could you go do that, and I'll just like stay here and have a seat somewhere.
I'll stay here with him. Make sure nothing bad happens to me.
Well, I'm gonna have to go and. Okay.
It's gonna take you like.
I'd like to go enlist some help, please.
All right. You find
Like a bunch of dwarves and elves, if they're available.
you'll
Anyone who's
find
available.
like you'd find some elves that would help you out. The dwarves seem kind of like, oh, we're busy exploring. Like,
Alright.
why do you want to move the beastie?
Well, there seems to be some sort of contraption in this building that we found, and it seems to need blood, and I'd rather take it from something dead than something alive.
Aye, that's true.
Yes.
Then they just go back to looking at the lamppost.
Yeah, so I'll go round up some elves.
Keep in mind, those dwarves have been looking at that lamppost now for like
I can
15
understand
minutes.
I can understand that. Really, I can.
They're just scratching their head and their beards. Yeah, so you'd find like 2 or 3 elves who'd help you. You guys bring it over in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
So then you could kind of just, what do you plan to do with the body?
Well, I'd like to kind of like look for an artery maybe and take out a dagger and just kind of like cut
Yep.
open a line. Is the
Blood's-
blood red?
It's more of a very, very dark red, but
Okay.
it's red enough, I guess you'd assume.
Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of like just grab some.
Wash the door of the blood.
Yeah, basically.
Wash the door with the. Okay.
And what happens? Does it soften?
Yeah, it all softens and it kind of, like you could push it as you're kind of doing it. It kind of moves as you were kind of doing the end.
Okay, I'd like to open up the door.
All right, so you push the door open, and you kind of get greeted by this room. And in this room, there is.
I'm kind of worried about what might be returned.
There is a tiny, one of those. Babao is what they're called.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sure.
There's a tiny one of those.
Wanna what?
It's about
A tiny razor claw thing.
There's a tiny
Oh.
death claw in the room,
Oh, jeez.
and it is it's about half the size of the full one.
Oh shit! I have 1 health. The nurse will be asking. I have 1 HP left.
Oh, jeez.
If I die, I'm
Oh,
gonna
gee,
be
Rick.
super mad at you.
Wait, if we covered the door in his blood, would there
Oh.
been a tiny him?
No, we cover in the razor claw blood.
There
No,
is.
but had we? Is there like a
Oh.
super tiny one of him too?
There's like the tail's cat.
Wow.
Does it seem to be like angry or is it moving
Yeah,
at all?
like you roll initiative.
Okay, gotcha.
Wait, do we have to fight him too? Tiny him?
Well, no.
just this thing has a cat tail. Is what
Yeah, it's like this giant
Wait, can we
death
play
claw
with-
lizard thing with a
Guys,
cat tail.
after this, we should just mix the 3 of our blood, just
God.
and smear it on the other door.
no.
What is wrong with you, nature
And you said that
lady?
we're weird.
Are you saying this in character?
No.
Yeah, I am.
like
just
I'm pretty sure we're a little bit too busy to
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said
Fighting the-
that in character.
the bow.
Well, I was thinking, like, you were on my case of I sit in a chair, and you're like, hey, what if we create a horrible abomination that defies all nature?
To be
That's
honest
fun,
with this,
right?
I was hoping you guys would do something like that. Because I was like, I don't know how the hell I'm going to make the stats for that, but it'll be amazing.
That's too bad. Sorry, buddy.
No, that's fine. I like this too. I figured you guys would do something like this.
All right, yeah. So I got a 15 for
Okay.
initiative.
So I have a 13 per initiative.
I have an 18.
Wow.
Okay.
I already used my spell slots too.
15, 13, 18?
How unfortunate for you.
Sure.
Maybe we'd be
far away
combat ready if somebody didn't
how
keep
big is
using
this
their spell slots to
How big is it?
shoot me in the head.
I think the normal one was size
To make
large.
him drop valuable
Oh,
potions.
did you come
I
into?
didn't
Yeah.
make him
Pretty
jump valuable
You
potions
tried
in the
to.
end.
You tried to.
10 feet.
Okay.
10, 15 feet.
Are we,
Alright.
are we having a fight?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah. Against Razor Claw.
13, Priscilla,
Are you paying
18.
attention?
Okay, and now I just need to find the stats for that sucker again. This is what happens whenever you 30 minutes and I'm like, I need to make stuff that'll be fun.
That's fair.
Is there any chance that, like, as a reaction to opening the door, I could just quickly close it?
I mean, you could try to close it before it gets to you. I haven't rolled initiative for it yet.
Okay.
So your first turn is just like, nope.
So
Basically-
if that's your turn, I mean, Priscilla would be going first.
Yeah, I mean, I'll wait and see what she does first, I guess.
But
Yeah.
I know that it's a demon, right?
You know it's a fiend, yeah. You fought one before.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but it just looks shadowy and it's got like a reddish shadow to it.
Well,
And has
I'm
a
gonna-
cat tail.
And it has a cat tail, which is weird.
Well, it's a fiend and an abomination of nature.
Yeah.
It's dying.
Alright, let's find the stats for that guy.
I just don't want to be within 10 feet of the thing.
I'm pretty sure it has a longer moving distance than 15
Probably
feet.
does, yeah. Which sucks.
You know what also sucks? Having 1 HP going into a combat.
Guys,
Start
we'll
singing,
have
bud.
this door for whenever we want. We can just mix up whatever we want.
And
Like,
you-
if I...
That's so
like,
scary.
What if we, like, grind up a mushroom
Didn't you just
into the blood? What would that affect
Didn't you
it?
just call this an abomination of nature? And you're like, hey, let's make a bunch of abominations
No,
of
this
nature.
is
It'll be
me.
fun.
This is Serena speaking.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Jesus.
This would be pretty fun to do, actually. Like, each of us gets one door, and then we have just, like, duels. We're like, here's your side, here's my side, duel to the death. And you get to make your own monster. Dude, we could run a monster fighting business where people try and build the biggest, baddest
I feel like that's
monster.
unethical.
Build a
But
monster.
it's such a great business idea. I'd be all over this.
Build a monster workshop, guys.
Yeah. It's like dual monsterinas. Exotic hunters would go and get the blood of like leopards and cheetahs and all those
Man.
dangerous animals.
So, are we ready?
Yeah. All right, I got it up here.
Business idea, though.
I think it's dumb.
Well,
I think you're dumb.
fuck.
I think we're not in a good spot right now.
Yeah. It rolled a nat 20 for initiative.
Oh shoot!
Oh, that's unfortunate. Especially
So as
'cause-
soon as this door opens up, this shadow... oh, sorry. This shadow, Deathclaw, with like a crimson kind of shadow to it, just charges forth and attacks the closest thing to him, which is
I
Peleus.
opened the door. Why did I open the door?
Yeah, and he rolls to attack you.
Okay.
And that is a... Ooh, why am I rolling so good?
Uh-oh.
Jeez, that's a 26 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Are we going to get full party wipes on a side quest?
You have 2 elves with you.
We do! We do!
Oh, that's right.
Huh!
Alright, so he attacks you. Fucking man.
Don't kill me right away.
I need to half everything, like, on the fly. So I'm like, Okay. Okay, so that guy does, 5 damage.
Okay.
And then he's gonna attack you again, because he can do that. These are with his claws, by the way.
Yeah.
And, I don't think a 10 hits.
No.
Okay. And then he's gonna bite you. And that's a 13.
Nope.
Good thing you got that chainmail, man.
Well, I'm still operating under my original AC.
Oh, you'll get chainmail AC just from it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I think
that's-
that might lower my AC.
Does it?
Maybe.
Okay, then you don't,
Okay.
because it would be 12 plus 2.
Yeah, no, right now I've got 12 plus 4.
Okay. We'll see about that. Okay. So yeah, you take just the 5 damage, and that is the end of his turn.
Okay.
I'd like to apologize to any listeners we may have for me eating corn nuts right now.
Just
But,
don't eat corn nuts,
I'm very
alright?
hungry.
They're an abomination to nature anyway.
You're an
Sorry,
abomination
I'm very
of nature.
hungry at the moment. I
All right,
haven't
it
had
is-
You're
supper.
gonna hot pot soon.
It is
Yeah, I
now
know,
Priscilla's
it's not
turn.
for hours.
Oh yeah, we need to... Okay, yeah, never mind. We'll
Yeah, are we
do that
going-
on your turn.
All right.
Hot pot secret code.
All right.
It
Anyway,
is
Priscilla.
it is now Priscilla's turn.
I'm gonna cast it in the face with an Eldritch Blast.
That sounds like an excellent plan.
I got 16.
Yeah, that hits.
All right.
I'm nerfing the fuck out of this thing. 'Cause I think it's like a CR4 by default.
Oh, I really appreciate
We're
that.
level 2.
You
Yeah.
got no spell slots.
So
We're
like I'm
almost
making
dead.
it
Alright,
half.
well, I deal 13 damage.
Okay.
Jeez. Monster.
What?
That's a compliment coming
One
from TJ.
sec.
by
Let
the
me
way.
half that. Half the health.
Yeah, he's remembering his resistances. It's great.
No, I'm trying to do his total health right now.
Oh, gotcha. Never mind.
Oh, and this isn't one of them. It's a shadowy figure, so it doesn't
Oh,
have
so-
resistance.
Nice.
And this guy actually didn't have any of the.
Oh, really? Okay, never mind.
No,
Never
yeah.
mind. I'm dumb anyway.
Oh, yes, it did. Never mind.
Oh, never mind.
You're
But it
smart.
doesn't now.
You're smart.
Doesn't change the fact that you're dumb.
Ouch.
I just got Burned.
Okay, so you did 13 damage?
Yes.
Correctamundo.
Please tell me you killed it.
No.
You can. Nah.
It's not even bloodied. Alright, and it is now Tristan's turn.
All right.
Lemiao, the magical wizard.
El meow.
As TJ has just reminded me, I'd like to do a little secret password for our friend Carly, who said she might be listening to a stream, and we're having a hot pot meal afterwards. So if she texts one of us the phrase, if TJ will help me out with this.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
All you other brothers get deny. When a girl walks in with an
You don't have to text the whole thing.
In your face, you get sprung.
So if she texts that to one of us before the end of the session, then she can join us for hot pot after.
All right. And the reason why this is him saying it is because your character is about to do what?
What?
Well, you're a... What's your class now?
Oh, yeah, but I don't have the story reason yet.
Well,
I don't have the story reason to be a Blade Song yet.
but you're level 2 now.
Yeah, but I gotta talk to the prince and shit.
Just do it.
Do it?
This is yeah.
All right.
Shia
Anyways.
LaBeouf approves.
All right. With the power of liking big butts and not being able to lie, I do activate my Blade Song. I unlock my inner Blade Song powers.
Yeah.
And
We'll give the reasoning and like whenever everyone else is here, we can do the whole like actual story parts. But
And since I don't know the lyrics in character, I do just hum the tune. So yeah, I use the Blade Song powers that I now have. Yay.
all right.
And I'm going to use it to just cast Magic Missile. I don't have a lot of
cast
combat spells. I could use Grease.
Magic missile.
Magic Missile. I'm sorry, TJ. I see that physically pain. I didn't want to say it. I just wanted to bug Kareem with it. But I could also cast Grease, but you're going to slip and fall too. So
I don't know.
Fuck road. Unless you're just going to stand there and take it.
No, I was planning on trying to run away.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I mean, would you care if she slipped and fell?
Yeah, because I'm almost dead. I need someone to protect me. So Magic Missile
Just do what you would do.
And that is going to be 3, 2. That one didn't even roll.
You had +1 to all those too.
Yeah. So that's 3, 2, 2 plus 3 is going to be 10 damage. Force
Alright.
damage right in his face. Like aiming for his face, if possible.
He is not impressed.
I thought it was pretty good.
He kind of like bits of the shadows kind of like dissipate off of him almost. But he's still raring to fight. The two elves now take shots at him. One has a bow and one just kind of comes up with a short sword.
Jeez, I got a
or
15. I'm not going yet.
with a long sword. And slices at him. I'm just gonna roll for them both, so
Alright.
that's why.
That's fair.
Yeah, the elf ranger's arrow just kind of bounces off of it, or actually goes through it because it's made of shadows. And the longsword guy charges up and he hits it. And longsword's a D8, right?
Yeah, unless you're using 2 hands, in which case it's a D10.
Yeah. So he does 8 damage.
Nice.
It is now looking like the shadows are kind of dissipating pretty rapidly. It is now bloodied for all intents and purposes.
Nice.
Oh, you know what? Even better flavor. Blood kind of comes out of the shadows.
Oh, nice.
The cattail kind of dissipates off of it
Aw.
as it leaks off all the blood that was irritating Lemiao's.
That's a cool idea. I like that.
Adding that flavor. That bloody flavor. Alright, and it's now Peleus' turn.
All right. I would like to back off 30 feet. I know that it's going to provoke an attack
It
of
will.
opportunity.
Indeed.
Back
But-
off is a pretty nice way of saying
Back
run
the
away.
fuck off, yeah.
nice way of run away.
And
Got me, didn't it?
the
Got him good.
Nat 20.
Oh, shoot.
It's a crit.
That's a critical.
I hope you have a lot of HP.
I've got 13 left.
13 left.
That's
How much HP?
18 total.
that's 9.
Ooh.
9 slashing damage.
Oh no. Alright. But I get away.
You do get away.
Awesome.
You're pretty hurt.
Yeah, I'm not looking good, but I'm getting away as far as I can.
Your elf friend kind of pushes you,
Yeah.
to get you as far away as he can, as he kind of goes back to fighting the fiend.
Yeah, and then I'm going to, as soon as I get like about 30 feet away, I'm gonna kind of like turn around,
Whip it out.
my thunder cannon. I'm gonna take careful aim. I'm gonna and try to get him. So does a 19 hit?
It does indeed.
Yay! All right. So then it takes. Takes 11 piercing damage.
Ooh, it is not
11
good
piercing
at
damage.
all. Where did I put my pencil?
Could you say into the mic one more time, DJ?
11 piercing damage.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Your gun does piercing damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's a bullet,
Well,
right?
What?
Yeah, but I just figured it would be bludgeoning because it sounds like a
Well,
blunderbuster.
it sounds like thunder
that's fair.
when it leaves.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but it's
mind,
like
yeah.
a piercing bullet, and then later I get thunder damage too.
Oh, okay. No, I thought it sounded more like a blunderbuster, so that's why. That's kind. I don't
Unfortunately,
care.
it's not.
All right, and that means the round is done, and it is now top of the round. So
But I'm far away.
the badass guy, the badass shadow figure, is now going to attack the elf in front of him. And
You can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. He does not hit.
Is that good?
He swipes at him again. That one does hit. D6. He takes a certain amount of damage. And then he bites him. Tries to bite him. Definitely bites him.
How do the claw attacks look at this elf? Are they like really reckless, savage swings?
They're just really they're like shadows beating into him. You can't tell if they're slashing him or just hitting him, as they're not doing enough damage to really draw blood or anything, but he looks hurt.
So like a
the-
shadowy after image where he swipe.
Yeah, and then the bite actually seems to do quite a bit of damage to him as he takes... He almost passes out.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
He just kind of kind of wavers and then kind of grips the sword and just kind of like puts on a face of resolved as like blood kind of drips out of his nose and mouth.
Jeez.
Man, I like this guy.
This guy is epic.
I like this guy a lot.
I'm buying him a beer.
And the shadow just kind of like opened its mouth wide and kind of like chomped over his like chest and like head.
Jeez.
Kind of something really not really plausible as it is a shadow. So
Yeah.
of course, and then it is Priscilla's turn.
I'm gonna blast it in the face with an Eldritch Blast.
All right, roll to attack.
I got 24.
You hit it.
Just
11 damage.
It dissipates. Your Eldritch Blast smashes into the shadow, and the shadow's just kind of almost shock resoundingly with the.
So
The
you'd
blast
say
from
I
it.
totally saved that guy's life.
Yep, you totally did. As he was hanging on at 1 HP.
Wow.
So it just kind of smashes into the shadow and kind of dissipates through it, and it just kind of almost like, what color's an Eldritch Blast?
It's up to her.
Yeah.
What?
What color's your
Usually
Eldritch
it's white,
Blast?
but-
It's purple.
Purple.
Alright, then.
The shadows just kind of turn like into a fluster of purple and then glow out white and then just kind of dissipate into the air. Almost like a vapor. And there's just a pool of blood on the floor where it remains.
Cool.
And the other door also swings open.
Oh.
All right. Can we please maybe go rest now and stop walking around this?
The elf just kind of is like,
I want to.
what was that?
I don't know. That was crazy.
He kind of wanders over and sits in the chair.
You, my friend.
If-
Oh!
Wait, would I have seen him going to sit in the chair?
Well, he kind of was like, it looked like he was leaving. And he kind of like,
So I wouldn't have time to tackle him?
well, unless you were leaving too. Were you leaving or were you going in?
I wanted to go in the room.
Been going in, but I wouldn't have left without everyone.
Oh no!
I have a
But he
feeling
would have
we
heard
did
the
it.
voice, right?
He hears the voice, but he's kind of falls onto the chair, kind of grabbing it.
He's
at
al-
1 HP. He
he's
falls
also-
into the chair.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
this guy just got smacked by a razor claw. He's a little woozy.
I'm running up to him and pulling him out of the chair as fast as I can. Jeez. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm just muttering under my breath, like, "Oh, lucky guy, you got to sit in the chair. I didn't get to sit in the chair. I got knocked out when I tried to sit in the chair."
And that guy. And the other elf is just like, what happened to him? As he heads towards the chair, he hears the same thing, and he's like, oh no.
Don't sit in the chair.
I'll take him to the prince. No one must sit in this chair.
Yes.
So he picks up his friend and leaves in quite a rush and panic.
Oh my goodness.
Does it look like I can make a break for the chair?
I would
I'm
be
right
keeping
next to
a
the
close
chair.
eye on him, so.
All right. I'll strike later.
So do you guys want to venture into this room, or do you guys want to head back?
I mean, we went through all this trouble. I'm gonna go into the room.
All right, you look into the room. There's not a whole lot in here. You do notice a chest.
Can I, seeing that the door was a trap, can I check the chest for traps?
Yep. You check the chest. That's an investigation roll.
How are you checking the traps there? You like throwing a rock at it?
Well, I'm just kind of like going.
All right.
Negative 14 plus 6 makes a total of 20.
Yeah, this isn't a trap. It's a normal chest.
Okay, is it locked?
Nope.
Okay, I'd like to very gingerly open the chest.
You open the chest. Written in it is you have passed. Like it says, the same kind of script appears, and it says, "You have passed my test. You are a worthy foe." And then it kind of just there's kind of weapons laid in here. There's a rapier.
Does it create a figurine of what we created?
Sure, there's a figurine of what you killed in there.
Yes!
Oh my god.
There's a figurine, there's a rapier, and then there's some gold bars.
Ooh. Well,
And there's also a ring. A ring with an emblem of like a rapier on fire.
ooh. Well, I was kind of peeking over Peleus' shoulder there. He's opening the chest from a
Well,
good
you
5
were
feet
lying.
away. Chair. There's a chest right now. I'm way more curious about that.
So there's
What's this?
Did I say how many gold bars?
No, I don't.
No, you
There's
said
4
few.
gold bars.
4.
What's it say? Peleus, what's in there?
Well, there's a rapier, there's a ring, and there are 4 gold bars.
Is there like a pound? I think.
You know, I think that the gold bars we should split amongst us and our friend the elf who was so severely wounded.
Oh, that's true.
That
Who
might be
gets
best.
the rapier and the ring then?
Well, I cannot use such a weapon. I can't use the rapier.
Why? It seems like a weapon quite befitting my noble stature. Perhaps I should keep this for myself.
Well, I mean,
It's no use to you.
if
after all.
if you can use such a thing, you go right
I can
ahead.
learn.
All right.
All right.
I'll
Take
get
the
a
rapier.
private tutor. So I'm going to take the rapier,
Okay.
and I'm going to take the ring. And,
Why are you taking the ring?
I wanted to show the prince to see if there was some connection that he could make.
Insight to see if he's lying because he's lying through his teeth.
That
Yeah.
was actually truthful. I did just want
What?
to see what the prince had to say. But you doubt me, so you should roll.
I kind of wanted to see what the ring
Insight.
did. Do you mind if I take a?
I thought
Quick look
it
at-
was like a thing of like the rapier on the ring, wasn't it? Like an emblem of that?
There is an emblem of a rapier on fire on the ring.
I mean, I would still like to see what it does.
Well, I don't see a difference between me putting it on and you putting it on. And I'm just going to slide it on as I say that.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to stop
You
him.
feel something. It's hard to kind of explain. You feel a presence, something magic. Take a break and kind of spend some time with it to kind of.
I'm just the guy
figure
with the
this
identify
out.
spell
Yeah.
here. I don't know.
I'm just the guy who doesn't care. And I say,
And the rapier as well kind of has the same kind of feeling.
all right. So for the ring, I'm just going to be like, nah, it just looks pretty.
All right. Well, do you mind if I take a quick look at it as well?
Sure.
All right.
Because I can't think of a reason why not.
Yeah. So I mean,
You get the same feeling. You'd also get the feeling would be a lot. The feeling you have is kind of very, very faint.
Okay.
Almost as if something.
Well, I mean, can I take some time? If I can cast Identify as a ritual.
Okay, that just auto attune.
It's basically it just tells me what the item is.
Okay. I don't know what
can
the item
bring
is.
it up exactly.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll pick it.
Well. Yeah, this seems like a pretty good stopping point.
Wait.
I just want to make sure I do have the rapier on me before we wrap up.
And
And I'm
still
going to
keeping
toss her
an
the
eye on him.
I'm tossing her the nature figurine. Or not the nature figurine, but the razor claw figurine with the tail.
Okay.
And then we all each got 1 gold bar, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So that's worth 50 gold. So you just mark down.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's a pound.
Oh,
I
my
figured
tummy.
that is
Oh,
easy.
mischief, my tummy. Oh, my face.
So you guys just head back up to the tower and kind of get your levels up and sleep. That's where everyone kind of planned to sleep.
Yeah, that sounds like a good
solid plan.
spot.
You kind of hear some of the dwarves talking about.
I'm sleeping
Sound
right
and
next
magic.
to him, so that if he wakes up and walks around, it'll wake me up.
Shit. How'd you know?
All right. Yeah. Well,
Right, so that's good day.